So one of the days I feared most is upon me. If you see in here, it's wet. If you can see the turbo manifold, it's wet, and when the car drives you can smell burnt oil. So we have a valve cover leak. It's time to get started. I don't actually have my engine cover on, but for now we need to get these cowls off. We need to expose the back half so we can get the valve cover up and out. They're held in with these 3 tins. They're tins, you just turn them. They have indicators on them too, so you know that they're in the lock position or the unlock position. And she's up and out. And another 3 tins here, and she's out. If I'm not mistaken, these come up with a flat head. Okay, yeah. Those seals. There we go. And this bracket bar has to come out as well. These are E18s. Let's get started. And we're gonna just pull this up and out. Then we gotta get our finger right here and pry up on this little pry piece, and then I believe these are 10 mils. 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna remove these. We got 3 more tins. 1 here, 1 here, and now this looks like it's in the way. We're gonna need to disconnect this. And now you can pull up on her and walk her out. Little connector here for the plastic trim. I'm gonna spray this with some WD-40, hopefully, so we don't try to break that. And then we're gonna squeeze. Try to get her out. There she go, and she came out perfecto. And I think we need to pull this trim out. Just walk it out. Just like that. And now she comes out. I'm gonna put this pin back in. Now this comes out. Remember this little tab I pulled up here? I'm going to pull this rubber up to kind of give me a little bit more movement, and I'm going to pull this out right here. So now I can move this hose anywhere I want, and I'm going to put this clip back so I don't lose it. Jesus. I'll try to focus on the fuel system last. I guess I'm gonna make an effort to disconnect all the electrical pieces, little brackets, hoses, sensors. We're gonna try to remove all the electrical stuff first. Then I think I'll take the plugs out, the coils out, and then I'll take these sensors out, and then I'll take the fuel system out last. There you go. Pry up and push out. The sensor will push it out on its own, and we'll pull here as well and pull that out. Now, for me to not forget where these go, they kind of follow the harness, but I'm still going to wrap these with colors so I don't misinterpret where these end up going. And I'm just going to kind of, there you go, and that's out. That's one. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put a color in here, and I'm gonna put a color in here so I remember that this sensor goes to this ignition coil. We're gonna remove these grounds. There's grounds for each pair of ignition coils. These probably are 10 mils. Let's see, they're 8 millimeters. Need to be very careful here because we do not want to drop this inside the well. Good. Pull this out. I'm going to put this right back in here. Now I'm going to show you guys a trick to releasing the injector connectors. I'm using these needle noses and this pick tool. Basically, you put your needle, you put this thing in here, and you kind of press it out, and then you get this in here like this, and she's out. And gently pull out, and she's out. Alright, I'm going to do this 2 more times on the other side. I'm going to label these as well. Okay, so once I get these off, I kind of just zip tied them a little bit to kind of keep them bunched together. So now I have everything off except for the fuel in the cylinders. Now I'm going to start removing these little sensors and harnesses. So with this, I'm going to push this in, and then kind of push, and see it pull out. Use it all the time on these connectors because they have a tendency of not coming out easy. There we go. Oh my goodness. So she's out. Okay, next up we need to remove this as well. Oh my god. I'm gonna have bloody hands by the time I'm done doing all this shit. Jesus. So now we're gonna remove these high pressure fuel pump lines, and then we'll remove the high pressure fuel pump. Okay, so now it's time to start dealing with fuel. Okay, I'm gonna get some paper towel up underneath of here, and this is a 17 mil. Let's make sure I'm going the right way. Yes, you turn to, this is going to my right. Yep. A T30. I'm gonna crack this here like that, buzz it a little bit, crack this here, buzz it a little bit, and I'm gonna gently back them off because this is under spring pressure. Pull this up. Be careful. There's a bracket that's attached to this. So then we're going to remove this upper fuel for the high pressure fuel pump right here. Alright, bracket, there's 2 bolts here. They are E7, so let's remove these 2. That's 2. Okay. We're going to pull. This is the upper. This is the high pressure feed line. This must be the low pressure feed line down here. There's an E7 back here as well. I just went on the other side and just ratcheted it off. But now we can kind of free this up. Gives us more clearance here. And now when we want to disconnect this sensor, we can. First thing we're going to do now here is remove these 14s, okay? Okay, I already did the other 3. Now, I'm going to come here. These are E8s. Got a WD-40 in here. Help me kind of pull on this a little bit. There you go. And she comes out. Now we can remove this sensor here so that we can pull this fuel line out. There we go. And now the fuel rail is out. She's out, baby. Mine is not coming up easy though. I'm probably gonna break this one too. Yep, I broke that one too. It's alright, they're just plastic pieces. But now This is up. There is the solenoids. I think these are for the cams or the vanos. One here, one here, one here, and one here. I'm probably gonna pull this air box up just because I don't have to. I don't need to, but you probably won't have to, but I'll do it just for easier access for myself. These little grippers here, all you have to do is just pry it. Just pry them out. Just like that. And just walk all the way around. Walk all the way around and just remove as much of this away from the valve cover as much as possible. I have a oil catch can on my BMW, so right now I'm just gonna loosen this clamp right now. Oof, my finger. I tore my thumb up. Okay. Pull the harnesses. This out the way. I got the harnesses up and out the way. And now we have to remove these Vanos actuators right here. Okay, the E7 right there. Before I actually pull this out, I'm gonna remove the sensor real quick. If you can't already tell, me and WD-40 are gonna have a good relationship after today. Pry up, pull down. Now that this is out, pull that out. We will re-lubricate these seals too. And that's one. Again, I'm gonna tape so I remember which one goes where, so we don't make any mistakes. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. This one's out as well. So we got this out, we got this out, and we have our vent hose disconnected. Now, one of the last things left to do, I'll pull these paper towels out. One of the very last things to do is to remove a line here, and I forgot what's back here. I forgot what the actual module is called, but we need to remove this back here too. And this pretty much I will be working blind. I forgot to order a certain tool, so this is going to take me a little bit longer than I like, but I'll show you guys what it looks like. A little bit more WD-40. I'm going to spray that and pinch. And man, I'm telling you, WD-40 has been saving me all day. And that's out. This looks like a brake booster line actually. I was able to get the job done with my little stubby T40 right here. Get it in there, break it, turn it. Okay, let's see if she comes out. Ooh. And she's out. See, there's a bolt here, a bolt here, and a bolt down here. They're all T40s. I advise you don't turn this. If you turn it, you could possibly, when it's time to put it back on, you could have some issues. We're just doing some stuff off camera, just pulling little harnesses out. I mean, pulling little clips out of these harnesses so that I can, because this bracket is kind of big, I want to free up as much space as I can. Now I can kind of get access to every bolt. Now I can push the low pressure fuel line back, but now I can back all of these bolts out. Everything looks like it's ready to finally come out. So I'm just going to start removing every one of these I think they're E10s, and we'll pull this thing out. So I pretty much got everything out. One thing I wanted to show you is, you'll see it better when this is out, but this silver thing has these two clips that's here and wraps around the back. Pull those out gently, very, very gently, with a flat head. Start somewhere around here and slowly work that gasket up. It's on there very tight, but I am losing daylight, you guys, so I'm gonna call it a day for right now. We'll get back to it in the morning.
The next day.
And oh my gosh, she's finally out. It's a good time to check your timing chain. Make sure it feels nice and tight. Plastic feels like it's all in one piece. No play. All right, that's good to see. Let's start getting our new gasket on and clean all this up too. I'll clean this up. You need to clean all the debris around here. I'm gonna clean this this runoff tray so that the oil, where the oil collects at, we're gonna clean this too. I'll show you what tool to use to clean this up, and then I'll get back to you. I'm getting ready to change my valve cover gasket, and I decided to upgrade to an aluminum one. Now, there's one difference between the N20 and the N26, and it is this PCV valve cap that goes to the intake. There's a vacuum line here, okay? On the N20s, they don't have it, but this cap is removable. Got a blade, just kind of burrowed it out a little bit with a vacuum line. Probably put some kind of like super glue or some kind of gasket maker around it to lock it in place, and then we can attach it. I'm not going to use this whole length, but basically I can attach it to the vacuum line like so, and now I can convert this aluminum valve cover from this. I'll put a link for the actual cap that comes with it that you can buy, that can actually convert right on with this fitting on it. I didn't know about this at the time when I bought this, so I'm improvising, but I'll put that link in the description. And I just wanted to take a look at those cams, and man, they look beautiful. I see virtually no scarring, no varnishes. Looks really good. Let's talk about scraping the gasket here, okay? So this is just showing you how to do it. You usually use a plastic scrape tool. I'm using something called a non-marring scrape tool. Come in here and you just knock off all the old gasket maker that you have. You can spray a little bit of brake clean on your paper towel and then wipe down each surface, okay? I know it's not perfect, but I also cleaned up this tray here so that if anything leaks again, we will see it. But get your paper towel, wipe it through, and just clean all this out. Like I said, don't forget to clean your deck here as well, and just don't forget to get in the back also, okay? I'm also gonna show you where to put some what do you call it, some gasket maker in some places too. Last thing I wanted to mention, okay, if you have the money, I advise you buy something called it's called the eccentric shaft actuator. That's like 450 bucks. This thing is expensive, but you can't replace it until about taking the valve cover off and taking these decks out. And then there's this plastic thing with this mechanism that actuates, I think this is probably the intake side, and if you can, consider replacing this if you have the extra money for it. So just do a visual inspection on everything. Everything here looks to be identical. Check underneath. This does already have gaskets pre-installed, and I just had to install the new bolts with the little rubber grommets inside. I do think I need to transfer this, showing you where the cover is going to curve at. These are high leak spots. Behind there, but those are higher leak spots. I like to put a little bit of extra gasket maker right there so that it doesn't leak. I also like to run a little bit of this stuff on the actual gasket on the valve cover itself to kind of act like it's a glue to help bond, and if the gasket itself ever fails, the gasket maker is like a secondary seal. Okay, and the torque sequence is odd. Usually on most gaskets you start on the inside and you work your way out. Just want you to start outside and progressively work your way inside. At this point in the game, it's now about me installing the vacuum pump in the back, these cams, all these little harnesses, little gasket for the high pressure fuel pump. I'm gonna skip past all of this stuff. If you did what I did and you marked everything, most of this stuff should kind of just fall back into place where you want it to go, okay? And there's one thing I did forget to mention. For this low pressure fuel line, there's an 11mm bolt that sits in the back of here. If you run your hand down, because when you try to pull this off, this low pressure fuel line is going to get in the way. It's going to kind of sit like this. So what you do here is you follow the line down. There's an 11mm bracket that holds onto the back of the motor. Put that 11mm, take it off, and then this gives you all the play you need for that low pressure fuel line. All right, I'm gonna get all this stuff back in. Okay, so here, if you see here, I have thread. I don't have any thread sealant on me, so I'm using pipe tape. But you want to make sure you put this on here when you put the high pressure fuel pump in, because oil can leak past here. So you just make sure you do that too. About to install the high pressure fuel pump. If you look in here, you want to make sure that your cam follower sits kind of low in the bore, so that when you push this in, you're not pressing against this spring and damaging the high pressure fuel pump. If it is sitting high, you can turn the crankshaft pulley, which I'll find the bolt size for that later on. But I'm about to reinstall this, and then I'll tell you what to do. I put silicone all around here just so that this stays nice and good and seals well, and I'll show you how to deal with the bolts that you have to put back into it. Okay, I'm gonna tighten these two down right here, but I got the fuel rail on, the centric shaft sensor on, high pressure fuel pump is in, these are all in, these two connectors here are in with the bracket. The vacuum pump in the back is in. We have our Vanos is in. For these seals here, this and the vacuum pump in the back, I just cleaned them. I put silicone around the seal in the back, and I put silicone around this seal so that they'll plop in and get a good seal. Now I got the vacuum pump reinstalled. I'm going to reattach the intake right here, put the brackets back on, and we'll start her up and see how she sounds. One thing else I wanted to show you guys, I did replace my spark plugs while I was at it. You're going to need a special 12-point socket. It's a BMW style socket. It looks like this, 12 points, 14mm. And the NGK part number for that is this right here. I will put it in the description. They are not cheap, but now we'll see how she sounds. Hey, I wanted to show you guys something real quick. Since I have everything off, I'm going to replace the spark plugs as well. I put the part number. They are NGK laser Iridiums. Now, I've had this car forever, and if you look at that, man, that electrode look like it has no wear and tear at all. It's pretty impressive. Like, they look almost identical. Wow. Before I put this last plug in, I like to put a little bit of silicone paste inside the ignition coil and drop her in. Pull this out like this, get it off, or I can pull it out like that. Now, ever so gently, you're gonna pry up, keep on going, and she She's almost out. There we go. Okay, this is the old cap. Here is the this is the N26 cap. Hopefully I don't have to put anything on here to get it out, but can you go get that for me, son? Thank you. And I'm just gonna push it on there like this. That's perfect, like that. And I'm just gonna reattach it. I can actually change the angle. I can attach it like this, or I can put it back like this if I want to, but it's pulling on it a little bit, so I'm going to turn it like this way and push all the clips back down. Just hold on to it for me. And if you look all the way around, just make sure they're all secured in place here and there. Now we are completely finished with our cover. You ready? So without putting your foot on the brake pedal, press the start button. Alright, now put your right foot on the brake pedal and get ready to put your left foot on the gas pedal if it starts to hesitate too much. You don't got to press the gas pedal yet, but try to start it. Try to start it. Start it again, hit the gas pedal. Yes. Gas pedal, gas. God damn. Alright, he is running. I will look around, check the gas leaks anywhere, oil leaks of any kind. I'll let y'all know that smoke you see is from the residual oil that's burning off. But I'll keep my eyes around, I'll keep looking at everything, and we'll see what happens. Alright, she's running like a champ. We're letting her run for about 10 minutes now. And we have no check engine light. My brake light is on because I have my parking brake up. But other than that, we are good to go here. Thanks for watching, you guys. Till next time, out.